dear violinists, welcome to Pro Am Strings and day 7 of the Learn to Play Suzuki violin method. My name is Henriette. I hope that you have by now subscribed to the channel. Please do so now if you have not already done so. It means that I can notify you whenever I release day 8 of this course. So today we will be learning Lightly Row, which you can find in the Suzuki book number 1 on page 27. If you have got the book already, that's great. If not, it might be worth you getting the Suzuki book 1 so that you can join in with this lesson. In this lesson we will also be reviewing the way that you stand while you play the violin and your bow hold, and the aim is that you will continually improve all the postures that you have learned so far. I am keen for you to develop a good technique all the time. So let's get started, and I will play you the tuning notes first. Here is the A. Here is the D string. Here is your G for you to tune up. And here is your E string. So, before we start, let's first find a good bow hold. So your thumb and your middle finger make a little ring. Your middle two fingers come over the bow. Your index finger is just there and your pinky sits on the side edge and it is round. Let's do some bow exercises to get you going. I am first going to wave my arm like this, or wave my wrist rather. So your wrist remains really nice and flexible. Now take a look underneath at your thumb, and can you please check for me that your thumb is still bent, and you might also want to check that your pinky is still in the same place. If not, then please adjust your bow hold before we get going. So we do some waves. Next up we will do some windscreen wipers. These are exercises that we've done before in one of our earlier days, but it's good to practice them frequently so that you keep on developing that bow hold. So even when you do this windscreen wiper exercise, keep checking that your thumb is bent underneath, like that. Excellent. Now let's have the bow upright and let's do what I call monkey climbing, and it's going all the way up to the top here. You go all the way to the point of the bow, and this is really the section that this is all about. You want to see if you can get back step by step. And all that time my thumb is just on the side. It's not going in between the stick and the hair, because then I'm going to get stuck. So this will increase the flexibility of your fingers, but it also helps you get used to that bow hold. So there we go. I find that ring again between my thumb and my middle finger. My middle two fingers are over the bow. My index finger sits just there and my pinky is on the side edge and it's nice and round. Let's warm up the bowing now by playing 4 long bows on each of the strings. We are going to start at the heel of the bow on the G string, and I want you to try to make your bow super long today. So you go from the heel and you travel right up to the point of the bow, remembering to stretch your bow arm out in front of you while you play. While you play this as well, I would like you to listen very carefully if you hear any other strings joining in, those that you don't intend to play but just accidentally play along. If that happens, remember to adjust your elbow levels, similar to how we have practiced your elbow levels in one of our earlier lessons. Okay, here we go. We're going to start on the G string at the heel and we're doing 4 long bows. Off we go. Now we'll play 4 long bows on D. And A. And E. Lovely, well done. Now that the bow has warmed up, let's use the left hand fingers. I am hoping that you still have a finger line at the base of your left index finger. If you haven't, now is the time to write that little line on your hand. So I've got my finger line right here. And now I want you to place your violin high up on your shoulder, very close to your ear. Perhaps you can also check that your violin is not tilted too much sideways like that, only slightly in the sideways playing. And perhaps you can also check that it's not standing straight up like that, but your violin is only slightly higher on this end of the strings than it is here. And if you'd have a little ping pong ball, it would roll slowly this way, and then you've got just the right amount of tilt. So my finger line is going to go next to the E string, right here in the corner. So I want you to bring your left hand back to the beginning of the string and have it right there. Now your thumb should be upright, just peeking over the edge here, this end. And then my hand has a shape as if I hold a big tennis ball into it, like that. So this way you've got a correct hold of your left hand. Do note also that my elbow sits comfortably straight underneath the violin, so it's not sticking out this end, or neither is it sticking out that end, so straight underneath your violin. Now, we will play the open A string now, and we'll play each note twice with long bows, and then I'm going to set up my fingers 1, 2, 3 and 4, and you may remember that we had a certain pattern of our fingers, so perhaps it's easier if you see it from this way. Fingers 1 and 2 have got a little space between them. Fingers 2 and 3 are together, and fingers 3 and 4 again have a space in between them. So we're going to start on 0 fingers, just on the A string, and we're going to count us in 1, 2, 3, 4. Now take your time to place finger 1 about 1 centimetre from the beginning of the string. Take your time to place finger number 2. Finger number 3 sits really close to finger number 2. And your pinky has a space between the 3rd and 4th fingers. Now let's take away the pinky and we'll go down this row of notes. Finger number 2. And 1. And take all your fingers away. Well done, that is lovely. Now let's give your left arm a short break and let's get the book and open it on page 27. And we will be playing Lightly Row. Let's read the beginning. So I'm just going to put my violin down for a moment. And I'm going to get the book. And I'm going to read the first line. Now, the first line here starts where you get the option between a 0 and a 4 here in my book. And I'm going to start on the 4. the fourth finger on the A string. So my notes are going to be 4, 2, 2, 3, 1, 1, A, 1, 2, 3, 4, 4, 4. Now you can see some notes are black notes, other notes are white notes. As we have seen before, the black notes are short bows, the white notes are played with long bows. Okay, now the book gives you the option of playing either a 0 or a 4, and I would like you to use the 4 because we are developing our fingers and we might as well play this whole tune on the same string, although you can say that the fourth finger on A sounds exactly the same as the open E string. So some people find that easier to play the open E string. My view is you might as well practice that fourth finger because we don't want that to become a finger that you miss out all the time, because then it doesn't get the chance. It is already the smallest finger with the thinnest muscles. You want to start learning it straight away rather than avoid using it. So we'll read that one more time. 4, 2, 2, 3, 1, 1, A, 1, 2, 3, 4, 4, 4. So we've said the black notes are half bows, the white notes are played with the whole bow. So I'm going to play short, short, long, short, short, long, short, 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 long. I assume that you still have your marker in the middle of the bow, where the middle of the bow is, so those short notes here, they go up to the marker from whatever end they come. So they might come from the heel of the bow to the middle, or from the point of the bow to the middle, and that varies a little bit, as we will see in a minute. So let's get your violin and let's see if we can play that. Now before we can start on the fourth finger, we will need to test all our fingers and place them on the A string before we begin. So let's do a quick check. Get your violin up on your shoulder and make sure it sits nice and high up on your shoulder, close to your ear. Your finger line is level with the E string. Your thumb is just peeking over the edge, and you've got the shape of a tennis ball. And now we're going to play the fingers, and we're just going to set them up so that we're ready to start playing lightly row. So I'm going to begin by 0. Place your first finger, second finger, third finger is really close by the second finger, and here is my pinky, fourth finger. So now we've got all our fingers ready and we can start on the fourth finger. I'll count us in for 4 and we'll go super slowly, okay? Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. 2, long 2. Now add your third finger. 1, long first finger. A, 1, well done. Give yourself a pat on the shoulder. That's really good if you can do that. Now, you have noticed that I stop every time in between 2 fingers. That just allows me time to place my fingers in the correct places, and that is a very good habit to do. So let's do this one again, this one line, the first line. Okay, and we are going to check our fingers again. A, 1, 2 is next. 3 fingers right by the side, pinky. So please check that you've got the same pattern as I have. And now we're ready to play line 1 again. 1, 2, 3, 4. Up to the middle. Take away your pinky. 2, 2. Long. Add your third finger. Take away your 3. Now we're on A, right in the middle of the line. 1. Set your second finger up. 3 is together. And pinky is space away. So before we play line 2, let's read it through. Now line 2, if you notice, consists of all short notes, all short bows that go up to the middle of your bow, except for the last line, which is a long bow. You may also notice that you get given the option again between 4 and 0, so I would recommend you go for the 4. Moreover, because you finished here on the 4, so when we join up the lines, you are still in place with your pinky, okay? So we're going to play 4, 2, 2, 2, 3, 1, 1, 1, open A string, then immediately onto 2 fingers on A, and then you get 4, 4, 2, 2, 2. So all of the notes on this line are also on the A string. Okay, now let's get our violins. So now let's play line 2. First of all, I'm going to find my 4th finger. So I'm going to play. So I've got all my fingers in place now to start line 2. Now, thinking back to the end of line 1, you may remember that line 1 finished on a down bow, so we are actually here now when we start line 2. You can also see that little V shape above the first note in line 2, which means you started up bow, and I started here. Now make sure when you started at the point that your bow is not like this, but you point your arm forwards so that you get a straight bow. Okay, here we go. We're ready to start on the 4th finger, and now we have 2. Three, first finger, pinky straight away, well done you. I'm very pleased with your progress right now. You may have noticed that when I checked all my fingers at the beginning, they were all on the string, and I left them all on the string when I played the beginning of line 2. Similarly, when you play at the second half of line 2, I'm playing A2, but that means I'm playing A, and I've got fingers 1 and 2 on the string. Then I'm playing 4, 4, but it means I'm playing fingers 3 and 4 on the string. So lower fingers will always, certainly at this stage of your playing, be on the string if you don't use them. So we tend not to have just one finger on the string, but we have them all down just to get you to learn what I call the geography of the fingerboard, is that you know the spaces between each of the fingers. Now then, when you're ready, we can play the second line again. So I'm going to put my fingers back on the string again. A, 1, 2. That sets me up nicely for line 2. Remember, we started at the point of the bow, and here we go. 3 now, so put your violin down for a moment, and that also allows you time for your arms to rest a bit in case they are tired. So line 3 begins with the first finger, and we are going to go 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 2, 3 fingers, then we get 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, 3, 4. Now when we look at the long and short notes in this line, we're going to go at the lower half of the bow. We stay at a half bow here, short, 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 long, and this middle note here brings you to the point of the bow. So this section here begins at the point of the bow, similar to how we started there, and we're going on the upper half of the bow, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, 3, 4, and this last note will be an up bow again. If this sounds like abracadabra to you, don't worry about it. We will find out more about it when we're playing in a minute. So let's get your violin and your bow again, and we'll have a go at playing line 3. So line 3 starts on the first finger, as we've just found out. So let's place your first finger just a short section away from the beginning of the string, and we're starting it at the heel of the bow. I'm counting us in for 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Second finger now. Now a long bow. Push your bow arm forward. Now take away your third finger. You see how that fits really nicely? First you play at the lower half of the bow, then the long bow in the middle of line 3 takes you to the point of the bow, then you play on the upper half of the bow, and the last note of line 3 takes you back to the heel of the bow. So let's try this line again, shall we? First finger is on the string. Check out your wrist, so you push your wrist out nicely this way. Okay, when you're ready, 1, 2, 3, 4. How clever is that? Well done. So let's take a look at line 4 now, and you will have noticed, hopefully, that line 4 is very nearly the same as line 1. Hurrah! At long last, there is something familiar here in this piece. So let's just read through line 4 before we play it. So line 4 is 4, 2, 2, 2, 3, 1, 1, 1. Then you get A, 2, 4, 4, 2, 2, 2. Now you can see that all the notes in this line are short bows except for the last one. So let's play line 4 now. It starts at the heel of the bow. So we're going to find our fingers again. A, 1. Next up is 2, space away. Close together for 3. And a gap for 4. Okay, I'll count us in for line 4. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. Three. Take away both 2 and 3 and 2. Okay, so we're ready to play line 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now take away both fingers 4 and 3 together. Finger 3. 1. Both fingers 1 and 2 go up together. And both fingers 3 and 4 come onto the string together. And if you've done it correctly, you should finish at the point of the bow. I am super pleased with your progress today. Well done. Before we break up for today, we are now going to put the whole song together. When you practice Lively Row at home, find the bits which you find particularly tricky first and work to improve those sections before you play the whole song. Although this might feel as if it takes longer to learn, practicing difficult sections separately is a very good study skill, and once you embed that way of learning into your practice routine, it would help you throughout your violin playing career. So we may as well get used to this in the early stages of your violin journey. So when you're ready to play the whole song, let's check your violin. Let's check it sits high up on your shoulder. Let's check your finger line, your thumb and your tennis ball once more. And then finally, let's check your bow hold. Once you've got that all sorted, I'll count us in for 4 and we'll play the whole song through. So, before we start playing, we'll find that 4th finger, just away from the music. Here we go. A. 1. 2nd finger. 3rd. And pinky. So we're ready to play the song from the beginning. After 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. I hope, of course, that you have managed to keep up with me for the whole song. If not, that's not a big deal at all. Go back to practicing the line where you lost track and you will soon find yourself playing the whole song. You may also have noticed that without stopping between every single note, I have now played the music much more smoothly. So if you're already in control of your notes, then by all means try to keep your bow moving as smoothly as you can rather than stopping and starting all the time. If you're still at the stopping and starting stage though, that is absolutely fine. You have already achieved such a good level that I'm very, very pleased with your progress. For those of you who are comfortable playing at the pace we played it just now, do have another go, slightly faster this time. I do want you to bear in mind though that at this stage I would much prefer you to play slower rather than faster, and working on a good violin hold and a good wrist and a good thumb and a good finger line and a good bow hold. There's lots of things to be thinking rather than playing it faster. But because we're joined with all sorts of people from all over the world, I will give those of you that are managing all right a chance to play it slightly faster with me. So here we go, let's get ready. We'll tune our fingers first. And we're ready to start. We're starting at the heel of the bow after 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. I have really enjoyed playing this with you, and you have made such good progress in the course of this video, so well done for what you have achieved. Let me just give you a few words of troubleshooting before you go. If your sound is very scratchy, it may well be that your bow is either too far above the fingerboard or too close to the bridge. And at this stage, I would like you to check that your bow is about in the middle between the fingerboard and the bridge, about a centimetre away from the bridge, then you'll be fine. If it is very scratchy, your bow might be too heavy into the string, so try pressing a little bit less hard on the bow. Okay, and thirdly, if it's very scratchy, it may be that your bow plays at an angle, either this way or that way. So see if you can adjust your bow so that it becomes parallel to the bridge. Now bear in mind that there are a lot of different techniques going on here at the same time. And that's good because you have practiced all these techniques before. But if you find it very tricky to put them all together, that's understandable. Go back to one of the older videos, day 1 to 6, and brush up on your skills a little bit where we practice all these individual ingredients separately and then try again putting them together. As always, let me know in the comments section which parts you have found easy in this video and what was hard. I would like to get a conversation going. If you haven't yet subscribed to the channel, please do so now. Hit the bell button and the like button so that I can update you whenever the next lesson is released. Thank you for watching, and I look forward to seeing you in day 8.